In 1991, Salt Lake City lost its bid to host the 1998 Winter Olympics. The loss of the Olympics cut deeply into the consciousness of the entire U.S. Mountain States region. Early in January 1992, officials of the Salt Lake City Olympic Bid Committee decided on a different kind of strategy to get the 2002 event to their home state. They created what they would label the Scholarship Fund to influence the thinking of the International Olympic Committee as they made the state selections. The Salt Lake City Bid Committee was seemingly quiet until August 1993. Its officials began then contributing to a scholarship for the daughter of an IOC member, paying money toward her college tuition, rent, and expenses. The young woman was then attending American University in Washington, D.C. When all was said and done, she had received a total of $108,350 from the SLOC, or Salt Lake Olympic Committee Scholarship Fund. In 1995, Salt Lake City finally won the bid to host the 2002 Winter Olympics. It was later learned that Salt Lake City Olympic officials gave IOC members free credit cards when they visited the city and spent nearly $20,000 to take 3 IOC couples to the 1995 Super Bowl. Incredibly, the officials also paid for the plastic surgery of another IOC colleague. The scam, well, it exploded on November 25, 1998, when the Salt Lake City media reported that Olympic boosters had paid thousands of dollars in scholarships for family members of the IOC officials. Salt Lake City Olympic Bid Committee officials admitted that 6 relatives of IOC members benefited from a $500,000 fund for humanitarian assistance. Such words. The findings immediately triggered an investigation by IOC President Juan Antonio Samaranch. The senior IOC official widened the scandal, alleging IOC members had demanded bribes of up to $1 million from cities bidding to host the Olympic Games. Samaranch announced he wanted an overhaul of the bidding procedures. On December 22, 1998, the U.S. Olympic Committee appointed a special commission to investigate alleged improprieties in the selection of Salt Lake City for the 2002 Olympics. On January 14, 1999, Samaranch told the Associated Press that 13 IOC members had been implicated and charged with corruption allegations. The Japanese media soon determined that the Nagano Winter Olympic Committee spent an average of $22,000 per member on each of 62 visiting IOC members, right before Nagano was awarded the Olympics. Conveniently, the Japanese accounting records had been secretly destroyed. Several IOC members resigned. The scandal then spread to Sydney, where an Australian official admitted he'd offered $70,000 in inducements to IOC members before the 2000 Olympic Games had been awarded. Going back for a second, on January 3, 1999, allegations surfaced that the IOC had ignored corruption claims made by Canadian officials 8 years earlier. February 11, 1999, a new chief executive of the Salt Lake City Olympic Committee, Mitt Romney, was assigned to oversee the city's preparations for the 2002 Winter Olympics. Organizers set out a new policy for openness and accountability. In all, about 30,000 IOC delegates were linked to bidding improprieties. When delving into the Salt Lake City Olympic scandal, it's easy to allow discussion of Romney's participation to spiral into partisan politics. This case, however, isn't about Romney. It's about a sports ethics scandal that should never have been allowed to fester in amateur sports. You see, it's important to understand how something like this can happen to an organization, because if we're not careful, it can happen to our own athletic association or conference or business as well. The culture of an organization creates systems for safety or fair competition. But if the culture dictates that bribes are to be expected, even if everyone knows it should be illegal, then clearly systems of fairness aren't in place. Who knows the ultimate rewards to those who bribed officials at multiple Olympics? Bribery isn't measured on a sliding scale. If officials in the U.S. had flat out refused to play the bribery game with respect to Olympic bidding, and the IOC was constantly awarding other countries the winning bids, sooner or later people would begin asking why the U.S. was being excluded. Does doing wrong make it right?